Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. About to do a transmission swap on a Husqvarna. It's gonna be another video. I had one push mower for sale. So looks like somebody's gonna pick that up. So I wanted to get another push mower for sale. Pulled this one out of my pile of 35, which is now maybe about 20 to 25 maybe. I've gotten quite a few of those push mowers going. This is a 2-in-1 Murray mulch-side discharge. I think, does it have a mulch plate? No, it's just gonna be a side discharge push mower. Looks to be in decent shape. I know that it runs on starter fluid, and that's always half the battle. So we're probably just gonna have to deal with carb issues. I've also got a really short pull rope, so we'll fix that while we're at it as well. So let's go ahead and get started on these. Hopefully it'll be pretty quick. Alright y'all, let me give you the runaround on this real quick. Probably, I don't know, y'all want to guess the year? I haven't checked. With the big plastic back wheels, it's probably in early 2000s, probably a 2001 to 2005 model. Maybe even like a late 90s. 22-inch cut. Blade's pretty sharp on it as it is. Looks like it's pretty straight. It's not vibrating whenever I have starter fluid. So let's see what we've got year-wise here. It is a 98 model, 980418. So April 18th of 98. It is a 12H802 Briggs Quantum. I don't know the horsepower, but I do know that it's got enough to cut grass. So throttle cable is stuck on it. However, it's attached to the bell cable, so we're not going to worry about taking it off. But what I am going to do is take a pair of pliers and just bend this tab down right here to set the throttle so that it doesn't vary, or if it frees up, it's not going to do anything. Primer bulb is very gooey. That's where all this black stuff came on my hands, and it is not priming in the carburetor, although I put some gas in it. So I think what we got to do is just hopefully just clean the carburetor. So I'm gonna get this thing set up. I'll grab some tools, and we'll go ahead and get started on seeing if we can clean this carburetor on this thing. Alright y'all, got you kind of upside down. What I found is laying these on the side and whatnot, you don't have to deal with fuel issue or the gas leaking out and all that mess on it. So I just started laying it down like this and just sitting on the stool and working on it, as opposed to lifting it on that electronics cart that I have. 5/16 bolts. We'll take off this. Oh, we gotta take that 5/16 off too. I'll cut the throttle cable up top there so that we don't have to worry about that anymore either. I just set these bolts aside for right now. We'll take that off, set this aside. Like I said, I'm just gonna cut that cable off, so we'll just leave that on the side. Let me get the pliers that I mentioned, and what I'm just going to do is bend this tab down right here, and what that'll do is it will set the throttle so that it does not move. Just make it like any other mower that you can buy now. Need some gaskets, obviously. What I'm going to do is just, people hate on me for doing this, but it seems like it works sometimes. We're going to do take the bowl nut off and just see how bad it is. I have a feeling that it's going to be pretty bad, and I'm going to have to really do some work on this. Although the rest of the mower is just a little bit oily, but it's actually in okay shape. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, we got a lot of green stuff. And green in the terms of mowers is not good in the carburetor, so you can see we've got some decent amount of junk in there. My guess is if we pull this bowl off, it's gonna look like syrup in there. Look at that. Wow. So, that's looking pretty rough. So I wonder if the needle is not stuck, so it makes you wonder if I can just take this carb off and give it a nice little bath in the ultrasonic. I might go ahead and get that thing booted up and just let it ride for about 15-20 minutes in there. See what we can do with it, because it's just absolutely nasty. So I'll get this out of the way and I'll just see what we can manage here. Trying to remember to where I put all my gaskets at, because you don't want to lose them. I'm not going to worry with that one because I don't want anything happening to it. Let me turn on the ultrasonic. All I got to do now is take off this. Obviously staining my garage floor with the junk here, but all I got to do now is just take off this carburetor, and because it looks like we've got a decent range of motion in that. Probably just got to get some of these jets and stuff cleaned out, get some of that syrup out of the carb, see if we can save this thing. So gasket, or we'll take this fuel line off. Probably go ahead and replace it while we're at it. It doesn't seem like it's incredibly brittle, but yeah, we've got some. That fuel looks rough. So 3/8. Take that off. We'll just see how bad it really is here. Take it off the linkage. I mean, it's just very syrupy, so I think if I just hit it up in the ultrasonic real quick, we'll be all right. So let me get that set up. I'll show you what I'm doing, how I'm going to put it in there, and then I guess we'll put it back together, see what we can do. Obviously, I don't need this gasket anymore because it's pretty brittle, and I always replace these and double gasket them. Sometimes I triple gasket them to make sure that they work correctly. And so I'll throw that away, and let the ultrasonic kind of do its thing. I'm not going to take that gasket off because it's pretty in there. I will take this pin off though. If I can get it out. I think I'll be able to. I can put this in a glass. Let it do its thing. So there we go. So I'm gonna take that off. Needle. And we're getting some blow action. The seat looks like it's in decent shape. Just a bunch of crap in there. So I'll let the ultrasonic work, and we'll revisit here in just a few minutes. Alright y'all, while that ultrasonic is getting in some work, hopefully y'all can still hear me, I am going to put a pull rope in this, and so what you need first off is a 5/16, which I have apparently misplaced. So I just had it. Let me find it and we'll take it off. Alright guys, found it. 3 5/16 on the top. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just pull this Just watch your bolts, don't lose them. But I'll pull that back. It'll just pivot on this 3/8 that's down in the bottom, down below. Just be careful not to crack it, crack the tank, so don't force it or anything. If it's trying to bind up, just take the 3/8 off on the bottom, which is down there, just under the vice grips. But 4 3/8 will get off of this. I don't even know what the oil situation is. They don't need an oil change. That's a given. Alright, so bolt. Take the pull rope off. Fairly easy to do. Usually can come with the dipstick. So the issue is this pull rope is just very short. That's all the travel. So what we're going to do, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do it right here on the floor because that's going to be the easiest. With my current situation. So actually we're going to do it right here on this little rolling tool cart. My garage just kind of had a number done on it, so I hope that ultrasonic's not too loud. So here's what we're going to do. You should get a screwdriver. Some cutters. Pull it out. Okay, so I pulled it out. Now I'm going to just take a screwdriver and just kind of wedge it in there so that it doesn't go anywhere. Take this knot on the inside. And cut the knot off. Pull the rope out. Let me get the new rope. Got some of these very long pliers here. I'm just going to reach in there. Got a little bit of dirt clodding up in there, but grab the rope if I can. Trying to. Doesn't want to grab. There's like a little, So you're going to grab that rope in there with some sort of pliers, get it out. What I'm going to go ahead and do on camera here before I grab the rope is I'm actually going to pull. So you'll turn it counterclockwise if you got it facing upside down. You'll see the tabs and whatnot out. I want to get maybe 2 more turns out of it. I don't know, that thing's starting to get tight, so I'm going to get 1 turn out of it. Just leave it right there. I'm going to make the rope a little bit longer once I get this knot out, which is proving to be a lot more difficult than it should be. But I'll get that knot out. Let me get the pull rope and then we'll continue on. Alright y'all, we're going to light this new pull rope up. Burn the end of it. And what this does, we're going to do this with the shirt or do this with the cloth, whatever you have available. Don't do it with your fingers. You don't want to get burned. Alright, so now what we'll do is we'll push it in to the rope here. So it looks like this little tail is causing some issues for me, so let me cut that off. Alright, so now we should just be able to slide it into the hole. Pretty easily, I would hope. Come on. Usually these things have no problems going in. It's got a nice edge on it. It really should just slide right into the hole there, but it's not. There we go. So now, I know y'all can't see that very well on camera, but I slid it into the hole where we're at right there. And now I double knot it just because extra insurance, you know. Pull it down. Now what I'll do is I will release this spring. So I've got all that rope now. What I'll do is I'm going to add this to the top here so that you can pull it from higher up. So I'll add that right here. What I'm going to do is cut off a little excess. So I'll cut it off about right here. Usually you kind of want to cut it off over here, but it will recoil just a little bit more, I think. And I'll see if I can feed this end up without having to burn it. No. So let me burn this end. Take the shirt, pull it, slide it. I ended up having to use a drill bit in order to get the other pull rope out because it just was not coming. Just pull it in some, and we're just going to knot it a couple of times. I do 2 knots just for extra insurance. Okay, So now we've got a much longer pull rope. And I'll put it onto the mower again. This should put us up to about the time where we're going to look at the ultrasonic. Like I said, hopefully that noise isn't deafening to y'all. I don't know. There we go. Got to get it down to that groove. Let me get my 3/8. Put those bolts back. Hey, it's done. I'll put those 3/8 back. Okay. The 3/5/16 I recommend starting with a nut driver so that you don't strip the threads, because there's very fine threads in this. I actually recommend putting it all together through the nut driver. Actually. I'm excited to see what that carb looks like. I want to have some success here with one. Alright, so that's on. What I usually do now, just, it's not going to crank up, so I'm just going to pull it back. Show you. Much longer of a pull on the rope, which is awesome. I'll hook it up here. Ugh. That's done. Let me get the carb and we'll see what we end up having to do next. Alright y'all, let me show you. This thing ended up doing pretty well. Overall, I think. Float's a little stained, but that stuff's like rock solid on there, so do need to poke a little hole through that secondary carb there. And even the bowl is about 80% clean just from sitting in the ultrasonic, which is really nice. I might just go ahead and put it back together, make sure all the ports are clear real quick, and see if this thing will start for us. If it does, then we'll make sure that it primes, and then we'll clean it up, change the oil, and send it. Alright y'all, I got the carb back on it. Before I put all the air filter housing and stuff back on it, I just want to see if it'll actually start and run by itself here. So I'm just going to give it some starter fluid just to get it to start, since I don't have a primer bulb housing and stuff on it. Let's see what happens. Got a gurgling muffler because it is oil all over it. As long as it's not going to leak at the needle and seat, which doesn't look like it is, then we might be all right. Let's see if it'll restart. Okay, no biggie. Let me go ahead and change the oil and put an air filter housing on it, and then we'll just let it, honestly, we're just going to let it run for a while. Need to put a primer bulb on it too. Let me show you how to do that real quick also. Alright guys, primer bulb, really easy to do. They make a special tool, Briggs does, but you can get by with just using screwdrivers. And I just push the tab in on each side, push one side up, kind of out of the way. Side number 2. So once you get both sides kind of off the tab, you can usually just pull it right out. I don't want to get my hands extremely dirty with this one because it's got a bunch of fuel varnish and whatnot on it, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Alright, so that one, I mean, it's deteriorating pretty badly. If you're a small engine guy, keep these in stock. Keep quantum primer bulbs and regular Briggs Classic primer bulbs always in stock. That way you're not sitting there and you're not in a bind and you have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever and just punching these in. You'll hear them click. I think if you get them in the right spot, you will hear them click. Got that one in the right spot. I don't know why this one doesn't want to go. But it's in now. As long as you got them, we did that in 1.5 minutes. You save yourself a trip to the store. And now let me grab the gaskets. What I usually like to do is double gasket these things. It just makes it so much easier. Sometimes I have to put 3 on it. It just depends on how warped it is. This one doesn't seem like it's warped. I just don't think it was pulling up gas through it. So you'll go in this orientation on both sides. This is almost standard issue for me to double gasket these things. Come with me real quick. We'll put it on the mower while we're here. Let me pull the mower in and we'll do it here in the garage. Alright, no leaks from the carb yet. That's good. So we'll put this thing on with 3 bolts. I like to use the nut driver to start. Actually, you should probably use the nut driver to put them in all, the entire way. So we'll get it. Got to hook that intake pipe on. Like to just kind of get it threaded. Come on. Thread it in there. There we go. You can do it with the nut driver as well. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. I usually like to do this one first, this one second. A lot of times I'll test it out to make sure that it's going to seal and then prime. But this one's not for some reason. put the third bolt in. I don't know if that changed. These things are always strange sometimes, trying to get them to prime. Make sure there's actually gas in it, because there may not be any. Should be enough. It's not priming, which is weird. Sometimes you have to run it a little bit in order for it to prime. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run it a little bit. I'll do that off camera to help keep this video short. And see if I can get it to prime. If not, then we'll put a third gasket on it. The carburetor looked like everything was clear on it, so I don't think it was that. And we'll see what we end up having to do. Alright, y'all, so I ran it a couple, actually just a few seconds actually. But a little bit of a crude way of me doing this. I do have it priming now, as you can see, priming pretty well. All I did was pretty much take the bottom of this air filter housing and literally just push it in. As you can see, it is priming amazing now, so that's great. I'm going to put the air filter back on it. I'm going to wash it, and then I will change the oil and then wash it, and then we'll list it. Probably going to pull about 75 bucks out of this one, which is nice for about an hour's worth of work. Alright, y'all, new pull rope, new oil. We've cleaned it up. Blade was already sharp. New primer bulb. We had success with the Ultrasonic. First one for me, which is awesome. Because I like being able to, if I can clean the OEMs, I like cleaning them better than if we got to put an aftermarket one on there, because those, those are hit and miss, although I do have good success with them for the most part. Let me crank it up. It is warm. I'll show you that it runs. It's not leaking anywhere, so that's good too. Hunting a tiny bit, but it's not terrible. Very smooth too. And all that smoke is gone also. So no leaks in the tank. No, I mean, it's a pretty easy one here, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm trying my best. I know my videos are a little bit long, but I'm doing my best to try and limit the banter and just get to the nitty-gritty and get to the fixing and do my commentary while I'm fixing. So hopefully this is jam-packed with a lot of good stuff for you. And like I said, we did a complete pull rope replacement. We did a carb clean with the ultrasonic cleaner, and just gave it a good wash, changed the oil in it, and this one was good to go. So cut the throttle cable off and made it a fixed throttle. Pretty easy stuff. What, maybe an hour and a half's worth of work at the most from start to finish, which is excellent. And I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and we've got a lot more content. It's every Wednesday and Sunday here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the channel, with bonus videos in between if I've got little short snippets of updates. So thank y'all for all the support. The channel's really been doing great this year, and it's all because of y'all. So I appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. See you then.